Um, I think that another thing that perhaps you should uh, dwell on are the very beginning lines, like the 10, 12 beginning lines, because the opening scene deserves very careful study and is of special significance to the play. The choice of introduction is regulated in the need of creating a special atmosphere and background for the audience. And that is what Shakespeare gains because he gives information enough, thus the audience start to foreshadow or to imagine what the play must be about, and they get engaged. Remember that the audience were mainly low middle classes or low classes. And Shakespeare inserts that interest in the audience without being diverted into any of the channels that the main purpose of the play may lead him to. Uh, Besides, we don't go around referring to people as by its ethnic or race origin, and the tragedy itself is called the tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, right? So that is noticeable also. By the way, Moors are all that were not Christian at the time, either African, Arabs, or Muslims. And if you read the very first lines, it enter Iago and Rodrigo. Rodrigo, who in fact does everything Iago tells him, right? And Rodrigo says, Tush, never tell me. I make it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purpose as if the strings were thine, should know of this. Iago's blood, but you'll not hear me. If I ever did dream of such a matter, abhor me. So it is clear that it starts like in media res or in the middle of a conversation, because probably they have been talking about the fact that Cassio was given the other the charge of officer. And then it says, Thou told me thou didst hold him in thy hate. And he will use the word hate too many times, he and Iago, in relation to, yeah, to Othello. And Iago says, Despise me if I do not. Three great ones of the city, in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, off-capped to him, and by the faith of man I know my price. I am worth no worse a place. But he, as loving his own pride and purposes, evades them with a bombast circumstance, horribly stuffed with epithets of war. None suits my mediators, for certes, says, I have already chose my officer. Okay,